In all honesty, the beginning of your dividend investing journey really isn't the most exciting and can often feel like you're doing a full sprint in slow motion. Those $1, $2, $3 dividend payments that you get when you're first starting out really don't feel like they pack much of a punch, but those numbers will grow and those payments will start to look a lot bigger if you just stick with it and continue to invest in your portfolio. And along the way, before you know it, you'll start hitting some really cool milestones that reward you for the sacrifices you've been making for your financial future, and it'll all start to feel worthwhile. And I actually just hit a really cool milestone in my portfolio that I want to share with you today. But before we get to that, in case you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Williams, and here we strictly talk about dividend stocks and how you can invest in them to create passive income and reach financial freedom. So if you love dividend stocks and if you're on a mission to retire early, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to stay in touch as we both continue to grow our portfolios and collect that cash flow. Anyway, if we take a look at my annual dividend income from all of the different portfolio trackers I use, we've got one that has me at just over $2,000. We have another one that has me at $2,015, and a third one here that says I'm bringing in $2,040. So there's a bit of a discrepancy between the three. But if we average out those three readings, we get an average annual dividend income of $2,019, which means I'm officially bringing in over $2,000 of annual dividend income. After about 2.5 years of dedicated, consistent investing, my portfolio is now at a place where it is paying me on average just over $168 every single month without having to lift a finger. And I know that's not a life-changing amount of money by any means. I obviously can't retire and hang out at the beach all day off of $2,000 a year, but compared to when I first started, this is a really cool milestone, especially when you consider the fact that I started investing with practically zero knowledge about how any of this stuff worked. And at this point, I've been doing it for about 2.5 years. And so I've learned a lot along the way, but I don't really have a background in this stuff. And I most certainly didn't go to school to learn about finance. But in hindsight, considering how much I love investing now, that probably would have been a good route for me to go in my formal education. And on that note, I want to talk to you about today's video sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University. Now, as someone who actually didn't finish college and most certainly wasn't after a degree in finance when I was going, there are times where I don't feel the most qualified to talk about some of the topics we cover here on this channel. Because of that, I'd be lying if I said I'd never thought about going back and finishing my degree. And if you feel the same, if you feel like your experience is holding you back from pursuing the career that you really want, then I am so excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University. SNHU has one of the largest accredited nonprofit online degree offerings in the country, and I want to talk to you specifically about their finance program. In this program, you'll learn to identify long-term corporate investment opportunities to increase shareholder value. You'll learn to apply theories of asset allocation, security analysis, and portfolio diversification to efficiently manage an investment portfolio. You'll learn to utilize the rules and regulations for financial accounting and reporting in a global economy. You'll learn to generate financial records and financial statements for users in accordance with governing rules and regulations. And you'll learn how to analyze, interpret, and communicate financial and accounting information to internal and external stakeholders. SNHU is radically affordable, with their tuition rates being some of the lowest in the nation. Also, when you go to request information about one of their 200+ different programs, a real person will hop on a call and discuss how the program can benefit you personally. To learn more, go to snhu.edu/Ryan or find the link in the description to see what the current average annual salary is for someone with a finance degree and to request more free information about the program. It only takes one click to find your calling. So once again, go to snhu.edu/Ryan. Anyway, guys, moving on. Back in October 2020, a few years ago, when I first started posting these videos here on YouTube, I had two different portfolios. I had one on Robinhood that was valued at about $6,600, and this portfolio was a mix between dividend stocks and growth stocks, so kind of a little bit of both. And then I had another portfolio on Charles Schwab that had a little bit more money in it, about $7,900, and this was all growth stocks. And even going into 2021, so a few months after I started posting these videos, I was still buying things like Virgin Galactic, Dropbox, Beyond Meat, and even the ARK ETFs. I know, guys, I really didn't know what I was doing, so please don't rip me too hard in the comments. But anyway, guys, fast forward a couple months to February 2021. At this point, with a few months of consistent investing under my belt, I really started to develop an affinity for dividend investing, and so I decided to just combine these two separate portfolios into one and go all in on dividend investing, get rid of those growth stocks, and just start going for that cash flow. And by doing this, combining these two portfolios, I immediately noticed a huge difference, a huge boost in my dividend income. Here we can see that towards the end of 2020, when I was kind of half in, half out with dividend investing, I was making like $5 one month, $20 another month at most. And once I combined these accounts and just started to focus on one investing strategy, just go all in on dividend investing, like I said, my income skyrocketed. It really took off. And instead of making $5 a month, $20 at most, things started to look more like $65 a month, $70 a month, even hitting my first 3-figure month over $100. I felt like things really started to take off from here, and it got to a point where if I wanted to, these dividends could start paying for some real life stuff like groceries, gas, electricity, and I thought this was pretty cool considering I didn't have to lift a finger for this money. It just showed up in my account. And then throughout the rest of the year in 2021, I brought in a total of $937, which was almost 10x the amount from the year before. And this last year, 2022, was just as sweet, and I brought in a total of $1,735. And this brings us to where we're at today. From October 2020, when I first started making these videos, until today, my portfolio has grown from about $14,500 in value to where it's at now, coming up close to $45,500. And just in the first 3.5 months here in 2023, I've already 5x my total dividend income received throughout the entirety of 2020. And with that, my highest month of dividend income ever so far was back in November of 2022, where I brought in just over $217, which is my first time ever crossing that $200 mark. A really cool milestone, and this is also double what I made in the entirety of 2020. And as I'm sure you can imagine, the journey does not stop here, and in fact, it's just going to keep getting better and better. If we take a look at the future value calculator using the dividendtracker.com, 10 years from now in 2033, my portfolio should be valued at about $254,000 and should be bringing in about $12,000, almost $13,000 of annual dividend income. Going another 10 years down the road, in 2043, so 20 years from today, my portfolio should be valued at about $867,000 and will be bringing in $43,000 of annual dividend income. And then once again, going 30 years down the road, my portfolio should be valued at over $2.3, almost $2.4 million, and I should be bringing in about $120,000 of annual dividend income. That is crazy. Whatever benchmark you're trying to hit, whether it's your first $10 a month, your first $100 a month, or even your first $1,000 a month, getting there and reaching that is not a matter of if it will happen. It's a matter of when. You will get there as long as you just stay consistent and just keep investing. That's really the only catch. And with that, if you are looking for a faster way to retire and live off your dividend income, then there is a quicker way to get there than what we've talked about here. And in this next video, I'm showing you what the fastest way is. And I'll also share with you why the fastest way might not be the best way. So click right over here to check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.